Hi guys, welcome back to Casually Crafted. My name is Ashley and this is going to be Tales from the Farmer's Market, weeks 1 and 2, I guess. So for those of you who are new, welcome. And so I've been doing the Farmer's Market locally here in my town in Wyoming and trying to sell some crochet items. But I decided in May that I was going to do this, and it started in the first week of July. So I didn't have like a big stock of stuff already made. Most of the things I made are things that are like what I donated to Wings in May, so like the scrunchies and the headbands and the hair clips and all that. So everything that I made for that I donated, so I had to like start over. So the first week I get there and I realized I didn't have as much stuff as like everybody else who's there. So I tried to have like lots of colors and variety of the few things that I did have, but I realized I didn't really have that much. I have, excuse me, sorry. I had just a card table and then my pegboard. So first I want to just kind of show you pictures of like the different displays of how I had things set up. And everything but the pegboard is small enough I could show you, but it's all in my car right now and I'm too lazy to go get it. So but I did take pictures while I was planning it, like, and I was like sending them to my mom like, hey, does this look okay? So that's kind of how like the first week looked, and then I took pictures at the farmer's market just the other day for the second week. So I wrote notes because I don't have the pictures here in front of me because they're on my phone and I'm recording on my phone. So first is the pegboard. The original just board was rescued from the high school, I believe, by my husband who works there. They were gonna just throw out 2 pegboards, and he knew I always wanted one. So they've just been down in our basement for now. So my mom helped me build like a stand type thing, like has legs and stuff now, so it stands up on its own. And I'll post a link to like a really short blog post on how somebody else put theirs together. And the main difference we did is they used nails, like roofing nails, and my mom knows a lot more about like woodworking, carpentry, all that stuff more than I do. She suggested we use screws to hold it all together better. I'm glad she did, which we'll get to. And then I painted it black with some paint I had left over from a project. So that's the pegboard. So I'll show a picture of it. And so what I had on the pegboard was mainly the necklaces. Oh, and I'll post a link to the pegs that I got from Amazon too. Yeah. So mostly the necklaces, and I kind of decided the way to lay it out based on how many of each kind of necklace I had. And then there's baskets, and the baskets are just from the dollar store. The white ones on there are kind of ovalish, and then the black ones are circle, but they're about the same size. So in the baskets for the first week I had 2 of kitchen scrubbies, 1 of flower clips, 1 of extra headbands, and 1 of bracelets that my 7-year-old daughter made. They're like really long strings with beads on them that she had me tie, but she wanted to try selling them, so they're for 50 cents. So that was the first week. The second week I moved headbands to the table, and I added coin purses in one of the baskets on the pegboard. Okay, so that's the pegboard. Next I have scrunchies. So I have 3 white things, I guess you'll see in the picture, that have all the scrunchies on them. They're basically paper towel holders. I found 2 paper towel holders at a thrift store, and one had like a really wide base and like an extra little thing that poked up that I took off, but then there was like a hole. So I couldn't decide if I wanted to leave that how it was. And then the third one was actually one of those like mug, like coffee mug trees that have like, it's like straight up and down, but it has little things poking out, and those actually unscrewed. So I just unscrewed those and then put like a little wood peg over each hole and painted it, so it's basically just straight up. Um, so the base of that one that was big, the middle part unscrewed, and so I just screwed it into a smaller wood circle that I already had. Um, so yeah, so I have 3 different scrunchie holders that I painted white, and they're all kind of different sizes. And so the first week I put the scrunchies on there just like kind of color block style, so you'll see like I have like teal, then purple, then navy, then red. And then with that, there was a few times where somebody wanted to get a scrunchie and they were like, I'll just get the white because it's easier because it was on top. So for the second week, I decided to make like a pattern. So I would do, what colors were they? Purple, teal, purple, navy, red, teal, purple, navy, red. So that way, if they wanted one of the colors that was originally on the bottom, it wouldn't be so hard to get to, and they wouldn't feel weird about it. So that's the scrunchie holders. The headband thing has been a pain in the butt. So the headband display, I didn't want all the headbands displayed, so obviously most of them are in the basket, but I did want to showcase some of them. So originally I had 2 separate displays, and they were made with empty hot chocolate containers, because I don't throw away containers. And so I like glued them together side by side, covered it in black felt, and then I glued it onto a candlestick that I had painted black. So 2 of those. And that was the first week. And we get a lot of wind in Wyoming. And in the back of my head, I'm thinking, this is really light. I wonder what's going to happen if it gets windy. And then I just kind of ignored that little thought. So the first week, the whole night wasn't actually that windy. There was like just one really huge gust of wind that knocked over my pegboard. The 1 second I turned away because I have the baby with me, and knocked over my pegboard. Luckily, people were super nice, and like the other vendors like helped me pick it up and put it back together, and not, well, it was broken, but put everything back on it. And then we had to make sure we turned it like towards the way the wind was going, instead of like this and having it tip over again. Anyway, it also knocked off the table both headband holders, which both candlesticks broke. So I just kind of had them laid on the table for the rest of that night. And so I had to come up with a new solution. I didn't get like a super great picture of how I did it. Basically, I took the wide piece of that first paper towel holder, because it's pretty heavy, and then I put another little circle on the back of that, and then so that there's like, I might just have to get it and show you, I don't know. One of the paper towel, or one of the like cylinder parts is in the front, and one's in the back higher up. I had these like wood candlesticks that I ended up using to glue them together, so the back one actually had 2 little candlesticks together, and then the cylinder part on top. And I actually took, it was working fine, like that was all fine. My only worry was that where the 2 candlesticks came together, that wouldn't be strong enough. And I actually used like the E6000 glue, which should be super duper strong, and then I get there and it was already broken, like just from the drive. So I had like that blue tacky stuff that you use to attach things that you don't want permanent, and that worked better than than the glue. So yeah, so that worked for that night. I don't know if I'm going to try to fix it or just keep the tacky on there. I don't know. Alright, so that's the headband holder. Sorry if that was confusing. I don't know if I made any sense, but you can kind of see it in the picture. Um, okay, so for the kitchen towels, the first week I just had them laying on the table. Um, it was kind of a last minute decision to make those. I didn't plan like how I wanted to display them. I just laid them on the table. Um, and that first night, the wind, I mean, because they're really light, so even if it's not a lot of wind, the wind kept blowing them not off the table, except for that one big gust, but they would like come halfway to the back of the table, and then I'd have to lay them back down. So I wanted a better solution. So for the second week, I went to the hardware store, which I should have gone to Walmart because it would have been a lot cheaper, but I wasn't going to drive 20 minutes to Walmart. So I got a dowel from the local hardware store and painted it black. And so underneath the card table where the legs are, I just kind of shoved it in on either side. And then obviously the towel toppers have buttons, so you just flipped them over and attached them on like you would if it was on your oven. So that seemed to work pretty well. The only thing was the second night was consistently windy, and so it kept pushing all the towel toppers to the side. So even in this picture, even though it was right towards the beginning, I think even before we were all the way open, it had already pushed them to the side. So anytime I remembered to think about it, I'd go like separate them back out. So, okay, that's that. The market bags, I didn't have these the first week, but the second week I made those, and I knew I wanted them like hanging up. So my friend who does the farmer's market, also she crochets, and she had kitchen towel topper things. And she just had hers connected to the top of her, like the canopy that she has. But I'm short. And so I knew that if I had things hanging from the canopy, it would be really hard for me to reach to pull it down if somebody wanted to buy it. And so I knew I wanted the market bags hanging it somehow, but I obviously didn't want it like that. So I got like 3 feet of chain from the hardware store. And what I did, sorry, I don't know why my voice is weird today, is I don't know if you can see what this is. It's like a little keychain type thing that you just like squeeze. So what I did is I hooked this around one of the corners of the canopy, and then I took another one and attached it just around the leg of the canopy, so that there was just like a chain hanging down. And then to hook the market bags on there, I don't know what they're called. They're not like key rings, because they're the ones that open and close, like binder, something for some sort of office supply. That's a ring that opens and closes like this. So I had some of those just laying around, and I hooked the bags on like that, and that actually worked really well. They never fell off. They were fine in the wind. So I'm happy with that. I didn't have to fix that situation, so that was good. Okay, so I think that's all my display type stuff. All of the price labels are printed on just like the brown craft, I guess is what you call it, cardstock. So everything I wanted to be black and white, and then the brown craft stuff. So I also bought from the dollar store that same brown type of gift bag. So if people wanted to buy stuff and they didn't want to just put it in their purse or whatever, they could have a bag to carry their stuff in. So now I want to talk about like how things actually went. I kind of talked about the wind a little bit. The pegboard fell over the first time. The headband stands fell down and broke. So that was a little fun. And if I didn't mention, I have the baby with me the whole time. So that's fun. But the first day it was actually not bad, because my husband came, and I just had her in the stroller, and he came and like took her for a little walk, and he had the other girls with him too. So they went over to a park nearby and went on a little walk, and that helped. Okay, so for week 1, I didn't sell a whole lot. I sold 2 scrubbies, 3 scrunchies, and one necklace. So I made a total of $19, which technically means I didn't actually make anything as far as I didn't make any money because of everything that I've spent on making the displays and the supplies of cost of all the different things. It is way more than $19. So at this point, I'm still in the hole. The first week I didn't have coin purses or market bags out. Like I said, I realized once I was there that I was kind of lacking in variety of items. My husband keeps telling me, like, you're there to learn, you're there to experience it, you're there to like look around, see what other people want to buy. So he's like trying to help me not be frustrated, I guess. So week 2, I added the market bags, and I can maybe tell you about the patterns and stuff here in a minute, and the coin purses. Lots of people looked at the market bags, lots of people looked at the coin purses. I only had 3 because I ran out of time. The market bags took a while. And they thought they were pretty clever with the squeeze top things and stuff. Nobody bought anything. The only thing I sold was one scrubby, and it was to somebody I knew, so I think she was feeling bad for me. Or just wanted to, like, support, I guess. I don't think she knew I hadn't sold anything, but she was trying to be nice and bought a scrubby. So, I'm not super excited about that, but apparently other people didn't do as well that night either, and I think it was because it was more consistently windy, and people don't want to go out in the wind. It was really hot both days, like in the 90s, but I think the wind kind of kept some people away. So hopefully that's why, not just like, anyway, I think I am going to lower some prices on things that I maybe was overly optimistic about. But, I mean, this is my first time doing it. I don't know what people want to pay for things. Some things I probably won't go much down in price because if I do, it wouldn't even cover the cost of the yarn. And my friend who crochets, she does a lot of like amigurumi and stuff like that. She's basically selling at or below cost for the yarn, I think. And she's been doing this for a really long time. So lots of people know her, and so she's pretty successful. So anyway, so my plan is to keep adding more and more things each week. I want to add like 1 or 2, even if I don't get a lot of stock of each of those items, at least I have. So like I only had 3 coin purses, but at least there were coin purses to look at and to choose from. So I actually won't be able to do next week's. My husband has 2 softball games that night, and one of my girls has a game or practice or something for soccer. So I'll have to do that. So I'll miss next week, which means I get 2 weeks to get ready for the next one. So a few things that I want to add are like chapstick keychain holder thingies, some washcloths, and the last 2 weeks people have asked if I had anklets, which I didn't realize people actually still wore. I feel like that was like a thing in like the 90s or 2000s, I don't know. But yeah, so people have been asking for anklets, so I'm going to make anklets and bracelets that are like adjustable. So those are a few things. I have a million ideas of what I could make if I decide to do this next year and actually start making things like now for next year and plan ahead like normal people do. But these are the few things that I think I could actually make while having 3 children and a baby and a house to run and all that. So I'm still trying to keep it small, but things that hopefully people will want to buy and want to look at. I don't know. So if you guys have any suggestions on what you would make or what you have made to sell at craft fairs that aren't too complicated that I can make in a week or 2, let me know. And yeah, I'm not sure. This summer is kind of, might not actually have very many more days of farmers market. August is kind of iffy. I have to go to Utah for an allergy appointment for my daughter. Then we have a family reunion, and then school starts. And I don't want to do it the first day of school because I don't think I'll be able to pick up my girls and set up on time. So we'll see. And then there's a few weeks after school starts that the market is still going. So if my husband can get the girls from school once he's done with school or something, then I might continue. If not, I might only have 1 week left. So this might be a really short Tales of the Farmers Market series. But yeah, it's definitely an experience so far. And I think I do want to try again next year, but work on an inventory starting now. So yeah, that is my plan, and hopefully you guys enjoyed listening to all that crazy nonsense, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye guys.